No, I didn't sleep. Hi everybody. Sorry, I kicked my table just a second ago and managed to throw away the camera. So hi everybody, nice seeing you. Welcome to yet another stream. Once again, it's the first Saturday after the release of new version of Home Assistant, and today we will be going once again through the list of what's new. I don't know if you managed to see the podcast or stream from the devs. It was really nice to see also Ben there. And after that, I'll be going through some of the projects. I have here a bunch of boxes with future projects, and I will be talking about my new setup. I managed to move my main setup from the old 415 plus Synology to the new 920 plus today. And yeah, there are some problems still, but I'll be working on that in the next few days or weeks. Hey Johnny, nice seeing you. Right on time. And this is something new. Cup of tea this time. So let me try and switch to the 2021.5 release notes. One thing I really love about it, and this is the new counter that's showing you how long the integrations take to load. I was really surprised about some of the automations. For some, I do know that they take a long time, especially the ones that I have issues with. And when I say issues, for example, Octoprint. So everything is great unless I restart my Home Assistant while the printer is off. And I do not print that much, not anymore. So it can take at least a week or 2 weeks can pass between the starts of the 3D printer. And if I do restart of the system, what happens is that it's waiting for the data from the Octoprint to be pulled in. Unfortunately, the Octoprint is not available or not running, so this integration takes a long time. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know that. So maybe we can compare, Johnny, our times for the components. Let me just quickly switch to the... By the way, I have completely new setup. I'm still trying to put everything together. Just a second. Okay, so this is the release notes, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's go through this. Database upgrades and performance. So from now on, any database update you will experience in the new release will be done in the background, and Home Assistant will not be waiting for this to finish. Also, if the process is running, you will not be able to restart or stop the Home Assistant, of course, if you do not power it off until this process is complete, and that's really great. Raspberry, yeah, we will be talking about projects. Okay, talking about broken databases. If you ever had corruption of your SQL, probably no. Live recovery, I haven't played with. To be honest, I really do not care that much about the data and the historical data. When I started with the Home Assistant, I really was trying to save as much data to do graphs in Grafana, but for the last year and a half, I really do not know what was the last time, except when Deadly on the stream mentioned Grafana and I tried to open it. I can't remember what was the last time when I opened Grafana and look at the history comparing data, I don't know, between months, weeks, etc. Again, Deadly yesterday posted on the Discord. I'm running on my Synology, the previous one and this new one. I'm running also storage node from StoreJ. This is the crypto, you can call it crypto Google Drive or crypto cloud storage that's running on a Synology, and you get paid for the lease of your space, both in terms of the space it is occupying, time the data has been on your disk, and also the transfer of data, not the upload but the downloads. And I'm running this 24/7. I have been running it for, I think that version 3 is now out for more than a year. Before that I was on the version 2, so probably around 3 years. And let me quickly show you how it looks. I have to remember to switch to new IP address. Okay, so this is the stats. It's tracking your status, uptime. I did have power failure this morning at 6 o'clock, and I didn't put this new machine still on UPS, so it's been running only for 12 hours. The last contact is the last time the satellites contacted my node, and my node responded, version blah blah. This is the amount of bandwidth used this month. This is the disk space. It's in petabytes because it calculates storage per hour, so terabyte per hour, terabytes multiplied by hours, so you get petabytes of storage. This is the statistics of the storage, and this is the audit. It gives you, it has 6 satellites. It gives you information on the uptime because you have to have more than 99.95 or 90 or 99.5. I can't remember what is the SLA. If you fall below that threshold, they can remove you from the network. And these are some earnings you get from sharing your space. So yeah, you will not earn millions, especially on such a low quantity of storage at the time running, but it's a fun project. I have extra space on my Synology, so I let it run there. And why I was talking about that, because Deadly once again yesterday posted a link to Grafana, and now once again I'm installing Grafana to be able to track data for the Storj project. Let me try and get back to. I'm still currently using the internal database. I have already installed, Johnny question about database, I have already installed the MariaDB, and on my new setup I will definitely be moving a database to my Maria database on Synology. So as you know, previously I had it running first as a container, then I moved it to the Hassio package by Frederick. And I did record videos on how you can move your setup to either Docker container or to virtual machine, but I myself have been slacking. So up until this morning I was running it. Okay, my Home Assistant was running as a Hassio package, and the only other add-on was Visual Studio Code, because I knew I was moving everything to new system. My old system couldn't run VMM. That's my problem. I messed something up way long time ago. So for the Grafana I will be using InfluxDB. That's another story. Yeah. By the way, I've been promising for a long time to do video on InfluxDB upgrade from 1.8 to 2.0. I messed up my setup, so it was automatically, the container was automatically updated to 2.0, but it's not working, of course, because I didn't do any migration steps. So I'm trying now to revert it back to version 1.8 and record video on how to upgrade 2.0. And good thing is that finally InfluxDB has released for Docker containers inside package for Docker. They have released tools to migrate from 1.8 version to 2.0 version. This was something that there was no tool to migrate from 1.8 to 2.0 inside Docker containers. So yeah, I will be, as I said, I will be moving to MariaDB. I have pre-installed it. I did, when I was preparing this new Synology, I pre-installed a bunch of stuff and did it a bit different than I did it before. So yeah, a lot of changes on my side, and I still haven't fixed and I still haven't figured some stuff out. But I will be talking about that a bit later. Yeah, I know. Oh, you of course. I was playing for half an hour with the. Let me just find wavelength. Is it better now, Mattia? If I remember correctly, Johnny, it should be visible somewhere in the recorder. Let me try and see it here. Home Assistant recorder. Because I think that there you specify... Yeah, you specify recorder database URL. So that's the place where you should check what database are you using, because the recorder is the only component that really is putting a lot of stress on the file system and everything, trying to write to the SQLite currently, or SQL Alchemy. Okay, back to the what's new. So this is the thing that I really loved. I looked at my system. Let me find where it is. Let me change the screen. Okay. This one. So if we go to configuration, information, information. Now you should see in integration setup time, and this is how long each of the component was taking to boot up or start or whatever. So most of them are below 1 second or near 1 second, but there are some that are 10 plus. For example, certificate expiry, coronavirus. And why the certificate expiry has such a long initialization time, it's because I'm still, I have to go take a step back. So my previous system was working, I was using NetHairpin, NetHairpin or not loopback, which means that both internally and externally I was using the same URL to connect to either my Synology or to the Home Assistant, meaning that I didn't have difference between the internal and external URL. I was on both places using, of course, SSL certificate. And there is an issue with this component because it cannot verify internally certificate that is published for the external domain. I don't know if you understand what I mean by that. So when I was redoing this system this time, I said, okay, externally I will be using SSL certificate, internally I will be using HTTP traffic only, because some of the add-ons and components have issues with the SSL certificates as such. For example, Reolink Dev custom component adds you ability to integrate motion detection and those buttons down in the camera view, but motion detection trigger doesn't work internally if internally you are using HTTPS. So I was trying for a couple of hours today to tweak and have Home Assistant work with the SSL certificate externally, but use HTTP traffic internally, and nope, you cannot do that. You can either have it use SSL certificate, and internally you can use the IP address, but it would still be using HTTPS for the protocol. So just a couple of hours before the stream, I decided, okay, I'll be scrapping that. I will be removing SSL certificate from Home Assistant completely, so it will be completely on the HTTP. traffic, and instead of that I will be using proxy or Synology reverse proxy to redirect all traffic. So all traffic will be redirected from the subdomain that I have, or domain that I have with the subdomain name for the Home Assistant, to the internal, to the IP address. So yeah, Synology, let me find my Synology DSM 34.56. So I'm 3 times worse than you. But mind you, I think that this one is still trying to connect not to itself but to the old Synology machine, or that is even trying to connect to 3 Synology machines. So this is the problem. For example, I'm not 100% sure. We can check in the integrations. Synology, yeah, I have 2 of them here. So I believe that the issue here with the time is the second one. Oh, you do have 2 Synologies. Yeah, I don't know. I know that. Okay, what's been lagging? So I said certificate, but certificate timeout. It cannot do anything about it. Let's see here. On with cameras. Let me check it here. So on with, yeah, even the last time when I rebooted it, almost, yeah, it's more than a minute and a half. So that's a long time. But also I'm using on with on 3 cameras, 4 cameras, I cannot remember. I think 3 cameras, out of which 1 is offline. So it's probably timing out when it's trying to reach that camera that is not connected. As you can see, Octoprint is 45 seconds, and I think that this is because Octoprint is not active. You cannot reach it, so it's timing out after some time. Reolink is 15 seconds. Shelly. Synology DSM, yeah, we said. Okay, template. Wow. Utility meter. So as you can see, okay, and WLED, I have bad connection with this LED, but I didn't want to say that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 LED strips now. 1 is behind my table. This is the new one, and I have bad connection whenever I hit the table. Yeah, it loses a connection. Hi Alan, nice seeing you. How you doing? So one of the LEDs has been removed, so I guess once again it's timing out, trying to reach that one of 5 LEDs that's not working. So this is really awesome thing. One thing that I really would like to see here is the ability to sort it by the setup time, and also to have maybe a flag here indicating if there is an error, meaning that even after 21 seconds, AccuWeather couldn't start. So that would be a nice thing to have, but yeah. My WLEDs are working great. This one was a hack. I did it in 15 minutes. I have Dig Uno boards from Quindor. 8266 ESP is running it, powering it. It's hooked up to the IKEA power cord that has 2 USB ports, and the strip itself is 1 meter long with the 30 LEDs. And it's really working perfectly, but I had to put it, I couldn't wait, so yeah, I put it in the before the meeting, and I only had about 3 minutes to program the board, connect wires and everything. So yeah, this is one of those temporary solutions that will probably be there forever. Yeah. So the best one, Android TV, that's 5 minutes. Oh, my Android TV isn't even listed here because yeah, who knows what happened with it. Okay, let me find once again the I hate the mouse. Let me find once again this. And I don't know if you've noticed this one, but it's really great. When you are booting the system, it now shows you the message what is currently starting. So for example, if there are a lot of components that start fast, you will see fast list of what is currently starting, and if some component is really taking a long time, you see here the name of that component. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen this, Pedro, and I don't like the idea. I've seen a lot of network devices that got burned because of various reasons, and I do not want to play with my PoE device powering the LEDs. The idea is really great, but on the other hand, I have much more USB chargers for the phones, tablets and things like that. Then I have free PoE ports. And also I think that a lot of people do not have that well cabling in their apartments or houses. So the idea is great, the proof of concept is great. I've seen maybe a couple of minutes of the stream, but I'm not sure if I would power my LEDs. I know that the voltage is higher, so you can drop it down and have power whatever you want, but still, yeah. I know, but if I look other, I have only Diguna boards, so only boards that run one LED strip, and they are perfect. I have older versions now. I still have 5, 6, I don't know, 8 maybe spare of them. So yeah, so I'm currently shopping for the new PoE switch. I think I have D-Link now, and I was looking UniFi. That's one of the companies that I love to hate. So I was looking at their equipment. I wanted to redo my network. Currently I have 2 switches plus MQTT router, and I'm not sure that I would go with the UniFi. I do not. Their wish to force you to go to the cloud is something that I'm not, sure that I want to follow. So I'm not sure. Mario, nice seeing you. Thanks. I will having coffee. This time I'm having a tea and a specially designed stream cup of my oh my god face. Thank you, Mario. And Alan, don't worry. I have to paint my apartment, but I will leave that to somebody who knows how to do it, because the last time I did it, yeah, it didn't pass my wife acceptance test on the quality control. Oh, I've read about it. So sometimes, I know that it happened to me a couple of times, but it usually happens when I have mistake in my configuration file. So sometimes when you try to restart Home Assistant, it doesn't restart or waits for something or whatever. And now it will be providing feedback on why it is waiting. Alan, what do you think would be better option in terms of the UniFi? Good question. Okay, Pedro. Yeah, this is really strange. People talk about the. I want to protect my data. I want to protect my systems, and on the other hand, I have 4 or 5 Google devices, Google Assistant active on all of my mobile phones. Kids have Siri, so I do not have that much of issue with keeping my data, but I've read a long security article about the a long security article on why we should be afraid of the UniFi as a company, because of how they reacted to the incident, how they played it down, and how they never completely opened the cards and said what happened. So if you have security, the question today is not if you will have, but the question is when you will have a security incident. It can be either me as a person or me as working at a company. But as a high-tech company doing the networking, you should be transparent on what happened, when it happened, how it happened, and what was compromised. I know that since the GDPR introduction in the EU, the penalties of just not providing timely information about the leak can be, I think it's a 1% of the turnover or something like that. I may be wrong. I forgot about it. We were doing it 2 years ago, so I forgot the details. But just of not revealing that you had a leak in a timely manner. So yeah. So that's the issue. I know that I will have data leak. I know that some of my passwords have leaked, and I know that some of my accounts were compromised. But I really tried to mitigate that, and as a company, I would really want to let people be aware of possible consequences. Something like, for example, the last problem with the exchange that happened a couple of months ago with the Microsoft Exchange, on-premise exchange, and hackers from China. Robin, in terms of what was the component that was taking too much time to boot up as first time and first boot, I don't remember. We were just checking currently what's going on, and for example, WLED, certificate expiration, DSM, OnWIF, those are a couple of components that take a long time, but Octoprint, but most of those components fail because the other side is not up and running. And this will be, I hope, I really do hope that next week I'll be releasing video that was the idea came from listening on the podcast from Home Assistant podcast in my car on Friday, when they were talking about who said that he's having a dashboard in his Home Assistant showing what services are available. So of course it will not work. This is not to be used for Home Assistant itself, because if Home Assistant doesn't work, you will not see this dashboard. But the idea is to have all the services that you require or need to be working, and to be able to see if they are green or red. For example, we were mentioning MariaDB before. We also, I also mentioned I'm using storage node. MB is one of the services I need running all the time because of the kids. What else? InfluxDB. So there also my photo station has to run. So there at least I will probably find at least 10 services that even if they do not work. So okay. When they do not work, when they fail, you will not know that they have failed on the first. You will probably have to see if they are up and running. So the idea is to create some kind of either TCP connection checking or whatever, to be able to track what services are available, if the ports are open and things like that. So that's the general idea. Oh, sorry. Oh, jeez. Give me a second. Pooh. Now you are moderator and you can post whatever you want. I hate those. I hate those bots. Okay, what did I miss? Yeah, I believe you, Robin, that UniFi is great. That's the reason why I was looking it. I'm not happy with my Wi-Fi, although the coverage currently is great. I did add one repeater, so the coverage is great. But I want something that I currently have on MikroTik, but I do not want to use MikroTik for this. Managing it in the MikroTik is something that I do not like. I love MikroTik as a company. They have excellent products, and I want to keep my router to be MikroTik as it's currently. But I want to move my Wi-Fi away, and I was looking at the UniFi to get, UniFi Wi-Fi, to get the PoE switches, because currently I have, I think, I have out of 12 ports, 6 ports are PoE, and I need more PoE ports, so I wanted to get 24 port switch with at least 12 ports PoE, and UniFi had the great switch. So that's one of the problems I'm currently trying to figure out how I'll resolve it. I'm not sure what way I will go. D-Link that I have currently is working perfectly, so at the end I may just go with the higher model than the one I'm currently using. I'm using managed switch. It can work in unmanaged, but I'm using it as a managed switch. So this is something that I also would like. Oh my god. Everything is deleted by... let me kick the bot. Report, put user, hide, remove moderator. Okay, Stream Elements bot is dead. Okay. Yeah, but on the other hand, I know that he was shocked about the PoE, but I think that PoE works on 42 volts. It has not that many amps, but 42 volts, if you use buck converter, you can lower it to 5 volts and then get more amps out of it. So let me see. Robin, I was also talking about cert expiry. Can you check is it passing or failing verification of the certificate? This is the problem I had. That's great. I don't use Node-RED that much, so Robin, I'm trying really to do everything that people do inside Node-RED. I'm trying to do it through the automation scripts and things inside Home Assistant natively. I don't know why. I just probably prefer seeing the code more than seeing the boxes, but I will. Okay. Yeah, I hate it. So I can read the messages. But I cannot get them back. Remove put user. No, unfortunately. But the bot is dead. So, okay. Where are we? Integration dashboard. I also like this. Although I don't know why I preferred the view previously. It was much cleaner. This new icon that they've added is visually something is a bit off for me. Let me switch to my setup. Configuration, integrations. Okay. Nope, not that setup, not that setup. Maybe this setup, not this setup. I have just too many windows. Nope, this not. Nope, this. He doesn't want to switch to this one. Just a second. Let's try it like this. Nope, it's not in the list. One of those days. Yep, this one, finally. So I also hate this dark mode, and this is, I can change it here. Okay, yes, much better. So yeah, if everything is white, I really do not like this gray box cloud of whatever. So I really liked much more what it looked previously. But I do like those notifications here that warn you if something is failing directly here in the integrations page, and you can jump and see, go to the logs and see what's going on. So that's really nice addition. Now I have to find a screen once again. Let me see. Okay. Color modes. Red, green, blue, warm white, cold white, and whatever white. Trigger-based binary template sensor. I can't remember what's that. Docker image now signed and available on GitHub container repository registry. So this is the, yeah, you know that GitHub is unfortunately also throttling who's doing what, so having it there is great option. Sorry, not Docker hub. Sorry, Docker is throttling the number of connections. Okay, memory leaks, TTS. I really love the TTS service by Home Assistant Cloud. I don't know. We have very bad Android, like robot, not Android as Android phone, sounding creation through the TTS inside Google still. I thought that maybe it would be improved, but unfortunately not. On the other hand, if you're using Home Assistant Cloud by Nabucasa, you will definitely be having much better quality of the sound there. Jinga minimum maximum. You can now have minimum and maximum as functions in templates. So, for example, if you have multiple temperature sensors, you can specify template, and it will be registering what sensor is the minimum value and what is the maximum value, which I didn't know that it wasn't available until now. The AdGuard is, I'm using AdGuard. It is currently not working because of the change in the setup. And I will not be using it anymore. I implemented first the Pi-hole, but I didn't like the Pi-hole. The next week I implemented the AdGuard, and I found it to be much easier to configure, provide more functionality. But this was before the Pi-hole was released, the new version of Pi-hole was released. So what I did a lot of schedules. I have kids. I tried to rule out the content that was not suitable for the kids. And the way I tested, the best way to test the AdGuard is to try and open up the adult content. And the problem that I was seeing is that, and also because of how my system was set up, I was using Mac VLAN on the Synology, and I didn't want to have latency on the DNS requests. So I made it like that. If the AdGuard can respond in a, I don't know, 300 milliseconds, I will be making query towards the AdGuard. If not, I will be using Google one. And by opening adult websites, I've seen that AdGuard is much slower than what I was expecting it to be responding. So most of the requests were going around it to avoid the latency, or to avoid the slower, to get the better experience of browsing the web porn. So it was working around 20% of the time, meaning that out of 10 requests, 2 would be blocked. And no, I will be completely removing it because it's just not working as I wanted it to work. ZHA, blah, 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 new integrations. I don't know if anybody's using anything else. Motion Eye has been added, new platforms. Sonos now, if you have a battery powered Sonos, you can track the battery and charging status. Alarm control panels in ZHA. These are the new components that are available for the setup through the user interface. My leaf didn't. I've seen that they've released something. They released a lot of things. I didn't see if something is here in regard to the lights. I was really surprised to see that many fixes on the first day of release. I don't see anything here. Fix light turn on color conversion, maybe that's it. Add color mode to demo light. Color mode support for group light. No, not sure. Robin, is this individual lights or the groups? Because I see that the groups were not supporting color mode. Or it is in general, is it something that's known? I was looking at Cloudflare. I was looking at the Cloudflare for something else. There are so many things that I want to play with, but unfortunately I do not have time to play with, so maybe I will be trying Cloudflare. I really have to redo everything. I have to redo my network completely. As I said, yeah, we can close this and let me open new window. So this is my new Synology. I have it. So the story behind the new Synology is, yeah, it's a gift from the Synology. So I got it from the Synology. This is 920. I bought the extra RAM, of course, for it, and HDDs. And in return, I had to record 2 videos for the Synology in Croatian language. I'm close to finishing them, so I will be covering the Active Backup for Business, which I have now running for 10 days or something like that. And I also covered the installation of Virtual Machine Manager with the also in Croatian language for territories here, Balkans, how they call them. And of course I installed Home Assistant in the Virtual Machine Manager. So if anybody sees this, maybe he will check out how Home Assistant works on a virtual machine. But yeah, so I got the new machine, and it took me really long time. As you can see, I'm almost at 7 terabytes of data, out of which about 4.5 terabytes are the storage node. So space that I rent to others. So it took a long time to do that. Then the first thing I wanted to move is the stuff that has SLA. And now I still have issues. So, okay. So first, before I was running Home Assistant in a Docker container, meaning it was a Home Assistant container with MQTT in container, Zigbee to MQTT in container. All the add-ons were running in a container. Then after some testing, I moved to the HAS.io, then removed all the containers related to the Home Assistant. I only left InfluxDB, Grafana, Portainer, I think that's it. Everything else was moved inside the HAS.io package. HAS.io supervised add-ons. Then when the issue started, one of the first things that I migrated out of the Home Assistant is one of the components that I think is the most crucial for my setup. At least this is MQTT, because I have Shelly's connected to the MQTT, I have some ESP boards connected to the MQTT, and I have of course Zigbee connected to the MQTT. So I moved it as a, moved it out of the add-ons and as a Docker container. And I also have high-grow plant boards that are using MQTT for data. And most of those things have hard-coded MQTT IP address. The next thing that I moved out was the Zigbee to MQTT because I couldn't risk that add-on failing inside the SIO package, so I moved it out. So if anything happens, even if my Home Assistant fails, I will still be able to, work around and have lights. But this was all on the same IP address of my Synology. So SIO or Home Assistant was on the same IP, MQTT was on the same IP address. Everything was shooting toward that one single IP address. And now I have a new machine. So the question was really on how to proceed with the upgrade to prevent downtime. Downtime really, if I look from my perspective, downtime in my perspective is storage node. And that's the only thing that I need to be running 24/7 without interruption. But if I look from my family perspective, that's lights. So what I ended up doing is still using old Synology to host the MQTT. Everything else has been moved to the new IP address. Home Assistant has been moved to the virtual machine, but all of those components are still talking with the original Synology machine with the MQTT. So the next step is still something that I'm not sure on how or what's the best path to do, is to move this MQTT either to the Synology, the new one Synology, also in Docker, which is something that I'm leaning towards, or the other option is to move it to the MQTT inside the Home Assistant virtual machine. The problem is that all the high-grow boards do not support over-the-air updates, so it means that I will have to get all the boards out of the plants, connect to the PC, reflash with the new MQTT address, and this is something that I really do not want to do. Then I have to repeat the process for the Shellies, all the Shelly sensors that are using MQTT, so the switches or the socket smart power outlets are not using it, but the motion sensor, gas sensor, humidity and temperature sensor, door window sensor, they all are using MQTT, because I found the response time of the MQTT much faster than the other protocol. So I'm really torn between on how to proceed with that. Bug with mode is fixed in. Why? I hadn't checked it again after speed recovery. Nice. Thank you, Robin, and bon appetit. So what I'm thinking I will do is I will move the MQTT from former IP address to the new IP address. Then I will completely remove or I will issue a new IP address to the old Synology, and then I will move the new Synology to the IP address of the old Synology. And I had to write a long document for the checks to do on how the traffic is routed, what is forwarded where, what ports are open on the router, what to reconfigure with each step of the move. So it was really not that simple. I'm a bit proud of myself on that, but it really wasn't simple. So I still have a few things to fix, but more or less I would say I'm okay. So this is the new Synology. As I said, I'm currently using I use it to record the active backup for business, and it's not opening because let me I had to refresh the screen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 updates are there. Storage. So this is the backup of this machine. This is the machine I'm using for the recording and also to play Minecraft and things like that. It has two drives. One is SSD 1 tera and the other one is NVMe M2 200 gigs, something like that. Of course it's not full, but what I really like is that 800 gigs of data was managed to be compressed or deduplicated, not compressed but deduplicated to 460 gigs. And yeah, this is something that is completely new for this machine. As I said, this is the virtual machine manager. I'm running Home Assistant here, and I have DSM-7 beta version here for testing, and MineOS because I was playing with it, and I was also using it to record the tutorial for the Croatian version of the installation for Synology. So that's it. Okay, now about fun stuff. 1 hour into the stream, oh my god. Boxes. Let me turn on my super camera. This is the camera that one of my kids used for the school. Let me move a bit closer. So these are project boxes. I still didn't solder any of the Dustin Watts ESP32 boards. So these are used to power, or these are used to create open source version of the Stream Deck. They only require screen here and the ESP32 board, but we're not interested in that. So this is something I'm looking forward to do. I talked about it a couple of times. Come on. This will be DIY watering project for the plants. As you can see, everything fits perfectly. So PCB sits here. Water pumps, 3 of them will go like this here. Not this one. I have 3 pumps here. I have to print the plastic here and here that will hold the pumps. Here is the place where you can put the jack, and LEDs, switches will go here. So switches go here, LEDs go here, and then you have DIY watering system working on the Zigbee. So this is one of the projects that I was really looking forward to do, but I missed 2 things, and this is something that I mentioned in my last mail day video. First of all, I forgot to order one of the components, and I will probably butcher the name of that component. So this is a capacitor, how it's called, tantalum, whatever. So this capacitor here, I forgot to order it, and I cannot buy it anywhere locally. And because of that, I cannot finish this project. So 1 component missing. Everything is here. This is the power regulators, bunch of buttons, whatever, connectors. So everything for the project is here except that one capacitor. So I'm waiting for that one to arrive. But that's not the only thing that I messed up. I'll show you 2 other things that are also waiting just for a piece or 2 to arrive. So I talked already about this one. This is the ESP01 board that you hook up to this relay module, and then you can either use the ESP Home, I think, to control this relay. You provide power here, and this is the wires for the real that are. Just a second. A mute button. So the idea is to replace this ESP01 module with the Zigbee module. So this is the board. You just need to solder the pin, the header pins here, and then you solder the Zigbee board here, and only few of the connectors are used. And then you can use the Zigbee to MQTT, which supports it already, to control this as a Zigbee device, which is great. I also mentioned on my Twitter a couple of weeks ago, I believe even a month or maybe a month and a half ago, that I received Zigbee modules, but I will get back to that. One additional thing that I also mentioned on my Twitter account and on the Discord is this programming rig. So I'm a lazy whatever, and I do not want to solder pins to program the boards. So the idea is you use this device that has pins with the needles or connectors with the with the springs. You put it like this, and then you just program the board. Take the next one, solder the Zigbee board or Zigbee module, put it like this, it fits perfectly, program it, and next one. You have DuPont cable here to connect to the programmer, and yes, I also have a new programmer for this. So this is used for the programming of the Zigbee modules. Okay, this is project number 3. And this is project number 4. This is the new Geiger Miller counter. Some of you maybe have seen my previous video. It's currently sitting up there now. Current Geiger Miller counter that is using ESP board with the ESP. So I get data from the oh my god, the kits to Home Assistant, and this version uses also a Zigbee module. You put here either 1 or 2 tubes. I even have the tube. Everything arrived. And look, it's not even a printed case. This one is using once again a box, and it fits perfectly here. You just put in 4 screws, close it. You have to drill here the micro USB connector, and this Zigbee, this Zigbee Geiger Miller counter can then be used also as the router. So you can use this to extend your Zigbee network. Capacitors. Everything arrived. LEDs, resistors, everything is here. Speakers, holders, whatever you need for this project, everything is here. But as with everything, you learn while you live. So this is the module. I'll try to, you will not probably see anything. This is the Zigbee module, and if I'm not mistaken, it's E18 MS1 PA2-PCB. And everything, all of these projects here require E18 MS1 PA1. So I have, no, these are speakers. I have 6 modules, Zigbee modules, and all are wrong version. Then I ordered 5 more, wrong version. Then I searched and searched and finally found the right version. I ordered it, but once again, it's a wrong version. I contacted the seller and they were trying to sell me the story that it doesn't matter what version you have, they are all the same, but unfortunately they are not the same. The pins on the Zigbee module, this PA2 version is using 2 additional pins for timing, whatever, that the PA1 version doesn't. So finally, 10 days ago, I managed to find one supplier selling on AliExpress those modules that I need. I made the order, I checked with them, is it really that version? I just wanted to be sure that I'm really ordering this 5th time, finally the correct version of them. I did check and they confirmed, but they didn't send until yesterday. So probably I'll be waiting for another 2-3 weeks for those modules to arrive. Although there is one way you can in theory build your own firmware, which I have no clue on how to do. And yeah, I've contacted the author of the board, author of all those projects. So yeah, I have 4 projects and I cannot finish a single one of them because I have wrong modules. Then I was trying to order, hey Lee, how you doing? I just re-listened the last podcast you did on Friday once again. It was really funny. So I wanted to order the new type of the plant sensors. These ones are also Zigbee ones. They don't use the lithium-ion batteries. You have to provide power through the AAA batteries, I think 3 of them. But they should last a year on those batteries. And I cannot order them because the LCSC, this is the JLPCB's daughter company that is managing the stock of the solder surface-mounted components. They are missing BME sensor, and this is one of the components that I cannot solder by hand, so I cannot order that. So we have 4 projects here, 5th project there, and yeah, it was really funny. And I have one drawer big like this high, that it's filled with stuff for projects. And then I went searching, browsing the net, and look what I found. Okay, let me switch the screen. It's not showing this window. This one. Okay, let's find like this. I really should stop surfing the net. Where is it? How is it? Okay, I'll translate it to English. So this is Zigbee intercom opener. This, let me kill this camera. We don't need it anymore. I don't know if Alan is still here. Okay, this one off. So this is DIY Zigbee intercom opener, and for what it is used, super camera. So for what this is used, it is used to be installed in, I don't know if anybody knows Nuki. Nuki has smart door locks, but one of the devices, no, it's not Nuki's. I think it's Nuki's. It's the additional device that you can hook up to your intercom, and it allows you to control the intercom. For example, if you live in an apartment building and somebody rings the bell down, you get the notification to your mobile phone and things like that. Yes. No, this one was not. This one I got as a present. So yeah. Okay. So the idea about this project is this is the DIY version of that same project. I don't know if I don't believe it's Nuki. It's like a small black box that you can put either on the top of the headset or on the side of the headset. It connects to it, it pairs to it, and then whatever action you can do on that headset can also be done remotely. This one mimics the same thing. So for example, you can use it to connect your intercom to the Zigbee network, to home assistant, and then, for example, have routines. If somebody rings 3 times shortly, you automatically buzz the door so they can enter the building. Or if somebody rings the door between the, 11 p.m. and noon when you sleep, you do not get any notification. If you are at home, you get notification on the speakers. If you are away, you only get notifications on your mobile phone. And that's it. This is the whole project. These are really very small PCBs. I will be ordering them once again. Time to ring, time to talk, time to open, time report, state idle, mode once, sound on off. So that's it. This is really great project. So yeah, once again, I'll be ordering boards. I need more Zigbee modules. I'll probably once again order wrong Zigbee modules, but these ones are using, you can check, let me post the link into the chat if I found out how you can do that. So these ones use different modules. As you can see, they use E18MS1PA1, which I mentioned previously, but they also use E18MS1PCB, and then you can power it on the batteries. When you power it on the batteries, there are a couple of functionalities that are disabled because it would probably chew through your batteries. So that's why it's recommended to use this first module I mentioned, so MS1PA1, and to give it power through the headset or whatever. Yeah. It's funny. It's really interesting to see, guys sitting there and thinking, oh, what can I do next? Now let me do a Zigbee module for the intercom. So get notify intercom rings, do not interfere with the intercom, automatically open door to everyone, open door once during a call or first call after switching. So for example, somebody, kids arriving from school, and they call you and say, I forgot my keys. You said, no problem, just buzz the door and it will be open automatically. Drop mode, mute sound. So it's really funny. So how somebody found enough time and inspiration to do with a project like that. Okay. So you don't use 2032 batteries. If you use it, use the AA or AAA batteries. Yeah, projects. Then, after I got really excited about that, this is the impulse counter. Once again, if anybody wants. It allows you to use the Zigbee module for the as a counter. It even allows you to, this perforated, where you cut the board, you can cut it and leave the board just with the temperature, humidity sensors. So this board can be either counter for the impulses. It has three channels. But if you remove that part of the board, you can use this board just as a humidity, temperature sensor, whatever. Running on a battery, of course. So it's really fun. So yeah, that's the stuff I've been doing lately, and plus the projects on the work and things like that. So yeah, okay, I'm done with my part of the stream. Any questions? By the way, for the channel members, you can type column OMG column and you will get this same image. This is my oh my god photo. So anybody has any questions? Lee, I don't know if you're still here or not. So what will be the topic of the next podcast? I really enjoyed. I didn't expect the quiz that you force them. Really, you're forcing people. You're forcing people to do that. I don't know if anybody else was listening to the podcast. You can find it everywhere. I think it's available on the YouTube as a video because somebody made the presentation on a podcast. Yeah, it was really funny. I was driving a car and listening to the podcast, and I had to pull over to pull the YouTube video so I can look at the presentation. Yeah, funny. Yeah, but the question, it was really nice talk about the chip or whatever it's called now. I'm still skeptic. I have to agree with your guess on that. I'm not sure if they will allow exemptions like what your guess about the Philips, allowing them to have hub that supports Zigbee plus chip, but say no, we will not be upgrading bulbs. That then you will once again end up, they'll force you to use their hub for their lights once again. And the idea of that standard was the interoperability. So when you make exception in the interoperability standards, you really lose the need to have a new standard for that. Okay, once again the message is missing. Now retract it. I was thinking that the bot was playing tricks once again. The bot is fired. So yeah, I don't know, what are your thoughts on the new standards thread and the chip or whatever it's called? I said I don't like a couple of things. I don't like the. Once again, I tried to get myself public IPv4 and IPv6 address. I have. Yeah, I'll talk about it. So I have a company. I own a small company. I worked previously at that company. Now only my wife works there. And I was trying to find a legal way to purchase the IPv4 address. And unfortunately, I cannot find normal way to own IPv4 or to rent it at a reasonable price. There are a couple of ways. One way they are suggesting is to use the VPN, but I do not need VPN, so that's gone. I tried contacting my ISP, but the price of IPv4 is just too much. It's about 250 euros a month, and no, I don't want that. So I said, okay, forget it. IPv6 is the future. They say that everything that failed with IPv4, such as the number of addresses, is resolved, that anybody can own privately millions and billions of IPv6 addresses, but it ends up that no, you cannot own, at least not that easily, public IPv6 address. Yeah, so I found a way. Each region, so I'm here in European region, so I have to find a sponsor, and the sponsors can, on my behalf, submit request for me to receive 256 IPv6 addresses. I really do not need that much. I would need probably 4, but okay. And I was looking through the lists who is authorized in Croatia from companies, and that's major banks, not all, but major banks, all the telecom operators, some companies I never heard of, a lot of international telecom operators. So what I would have to do is find somebody in a bank who is in charge of IPv6 there, who would be willing to fill the document on my behalf and submit it to the council, whatever, and then I would get the IPv6 range. Come on. Okay, I know that there has to be some kind of a structure, some kind of way of how to get that address, but come on. Seriously. And they were selling the IPv6 network idea as, you know, I fix all with IPv6. Yeah. So Alan, what I will be buying? I was looking at what will be available next week, and I will probably buy the LED strip, motion sensor, door window sensor, and I was looking at the ceiling light only because I want to test the remote. So these are the 3-4 things that I will probably be buying next week at Lidl. I think on Thursday they start with the sale, so yeah. Thanks, Brett. I really am looking forward to play with these projects, but unfortunately, as I said, I made 4 stupid. I didn't make a mistake. When I was tracing back on my steps and my search queries and everything, the problem is that sellers on AliExpress, for those components that are really, really rare, they have a picture of one product. In description, on one place they have one part number, and on the other place they have different part number. So if you try to open dispute, they will say that no, but as you can see, it was mentioned here that this project is really not that one which we listed and said that this is, but the other one which really is not what you wanted to buy. So I'm really, really sad because, you know, to have so many stuff to work on and you cannot finish anything because components are either wrong or didn't arrive, it's really crazy. They're not that expensive, those modules. I think they are $4-5 each, but I already ordered 20 or 30 of them and wrong. So yeah, I will find a way. There is a way on how I will probably use them in future projects, but we will see about that. Hi Mohan, welcome. So yeah, so that's my ramble about the IPv6. But it was really nice chat you guys had on the podcast, and I really did enjoy it. Of, you know, trying to see what is the benefit for the end user. If you look at it now, for example, you can be using Deacon Stick or Sonoff or a little gateway or whatever to have your devices connected, and majority of the things will be working one with the other. But then you have players such as Apple and Philips that either do not enable their system to work with that, or make it really hard to pair their bulbs and devices with the rest of the environment. So So now you have open standards, you have openness, meaning the ability for everybody to create devices that are, for example, Zigbee or Z-Wave or whatever. And then on the other hand, you have proprietary changes that just block others from seeing or operating your devices. So this is something that is, in my opinion, wrong. Oh, but you have remote with that, Alan. I think that remote is coming with the kit, so you can use it until you. And what bridge do you intend to have? I think that you had CC2531. If anybody needs CC2531, just send me your email, and in the email send me your address. I will be sending you freshly programmed. I have, I think, 5 or 6 spare ones. Yeah, I also made the purchase. Where can I find it? Let me see. I don't remember where I can find it. Just a second. I'm going back through some of my posts. So I ordered I ordered Arduino board that is also used as the doorbell control box. It's a small PCB with the ESP8266 input connections for the button for the bell and the output connection for the bell. So you have button on one side, bell on the other side, and what you can do is intercept those rings, and you can also control it with the ESP Home, I think. And the board arrived, but unfortunately I still haven't had time to play with it. So the idea is that you will be able to intercept the button presses, and depending on the time of the day or night, or if you're home or not, you can either ring the bell or, you know, just silent, receive SMS notification on mobile phone or whatever. So yeah, this is really nice thing, but unfortunately I still didn't have time to play with it. And I know that next weekend I will also not be having time to play with it because I'm going on a trip with the family. Yeah, they're selling the bridges also. Is this a little switch? Sorry, is this a little bridge that they're selling? You can flash the smoke on it, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh, Philips. When they mention Philips, a lot of people talk about corporate greed, but you will not be seeing me humping air here. Yeah, little bridges too. Yeah. So that shouldn't be an issue, I think. When you mentioned combi stick, I see that a lot of people have very different opinion about the CC2652RB that I got from Slash. A lot of people are very happy with it, but also a lot of people are having issues with the delivery. They were waiting for 1 month, 2 months. They did receive their money back at the end, but device never came, or it arrived after 3 or 4 months. So I released, when I was talking about CC2652, I was really talking from my perspective, and as I said, all of the stuff that I do on the channel, there are some exceptions, and I always mention that is bought with my money and based on my experience. And it's really hard when you I would say recommend or say that something is working great for you, the other one tries it, buys it, but then the delivery fails. But yeah, so be careful as always when you buy on the online. I know that everybody either received the item or money back, but if you need your device, you know, ASAP, then maybe some alternative shop or alternative version of this stick would be better choice. I've checked it a couple of days ago and I see that yeah, I see that no, I will not be humping here. But Lee, okay, so when I do this Geiger Miller Zigbee counter and this watering project also on Zigbee and this, what is left, intercom relay or intercom control with the Zigbee, you have to get Paul do review on them. You really have to, I really would like to see his reviews on DIY Zigbee devices. that would be funny. That really would be funny. So anybody found any? Oh yeah, I want to mention. I talked a couple of times about the Assistant Relay. This is the Google Assistant add-on for Home Assistant that allows you to use developer account and to fake Google Assistant on Home Assistant, which is really long. So the problem I'm having, and anybody who's using text-to-speech on Google devices, is that if you're listening to the music and you send text notification, it will stop the text notification. So there are a couple of harder ways on how you can try and avoid that or work around it, but the best way is to use the same method Google is using, and that method is to use broadcast. So what broadcast should do is it should transmit your message and it should pause the media playing, transmit the message, and then you know, continue playing wherever it left off. So when I was talking about my setup in December, I said that I have to do something there because a lot of times my wife is listening to something on the Google Hub display, whatever device is called, and you know, notification arrives, you know, weather warning or front door is open or whatever, and she has to go to YouTube or YouTube Music and press play once again to continue playing where it left off. So I did install the Assistant Relay. There are two versions, one is Docker version, the other one is the add-on version. I did manage to integrate it. The steps are not that hard, but also not simple. It will take some time to create developer account, blah, 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 whatever. But it can be done in a reasonable amount of time. I had some problems with the token, so I had to redo the process a couple of times. But at the end, I had it in my Home Assistant. I think that it still is there as automations. But why I never changed my notification engine to use this instead of text-to-speech? The reason is I was not seeing any new releases in more than 9 months. They also moved community site from Discord to Facebook. And for me, this was... I'm not using Facebook. I know what this Facebook is. I stopped using Facebook in 2009, I think. So I've been Facebook free for 12 years. I do have account BeardedTinker there, but I really rarely go there. Maybe once in 2, 3, 4 months. And even there, I did open it with that account and I did go there, and the community is asking questions, but there is no response. The Discord server, there are a lot of people asking questions, submitting ideas. There are some beta versions that been now beta in testing for 6 months. And finally, last week, I think the author or contributor posted the link from the author saying that he simply doesn't have time. He's moved on. He's now using something else, and that's it. So yeah, I really had high hopes for that. Through my testing, it was really working great, and it would have been great solution to be able to implement it more deeply inside Home Assistant, because it, for example, allow you to say, to do automation when you can broadcast a message, both built-in messages, for example, as dinner time, lunchtime, arrival, things like that, but also your own custom messages, and to be able to use somebody's account. For example, I could broadcast it to my daughter's room by using my account or my wife's account. So it gives you a bit of more flexibility than just text-to-speech, but unfortunately... Hi, Louise. Nice seeing you. Long time no see. And Alan, if you would go that way, I would really recommend of looking at the version that has Ethernet connection. I think my opinion, personal opinion, is that it should at the end have better response time than using the Wi-Fi version. I have a lot of Wi-Fi devices, but for some critical devices I always go for the copper wire, whatever. Sorry, time for tea. I was testing something and I'm really not satisfied. I started using my thumbnails really were bad. I'm trying to improve that visual on the channel, but yeah, it's getting better, I think. I do ask for help sometimes, and I do receive help, and I think that visuals in terms of that are getting better. And one of the options Canva gives you is the ability to order whatever. And I've seen the mugs, and I said, oh, let me order this mug with my OMG face. It was expensive in terms of, this is the standard ceramic white mug. I think it's 18 euros mug with the print on it. But I said, no problem, I'll order it just for fun, to have for streams. This is now my stream cup. And they said delivery is 5 to 8 work days. I waited a month and something for it to arrive. The funniest thing of all is that on the website there is no way to escalate, to make any kind of query about it, because, companies located somewhere in the States, then they have regional centers that outsource this to the print houses in region, and for some reason they forgot somebody forgot to mention that UK is not an EU country anymore, so they didn't use a print house in Germany, whatever. There are a lot of countries in EU. No, they use the UK one. So yeah. TTGO plant sensor board prices. Hey Hadi, nice seeing you. Yeah, the stream is on, although my throat is starting to scratch me, so it's usually around the end of the stream, as always. I didn't check. Oh, but let me check something else. I know. Whoa. Brexit. Yeah. Let me just give me a second. Yeah, I just had a beep from my speaker, but text-to-speech is not working because of that problem. Oh, have a nice lunch then, or yeah, supper, Johnny. Bit loony, this stream is starting at What time? At 8. I should go there. He's really great guy. Let me try and find high grow. No, plant. Search like this. God, hate them. Yeah, they still didn't release. There is a new version of the board. The new version of the board doesn't have this sensor here. It has here the BME 280 sensor that is much more expensive. And I've seen that the price for BME sensor along streams, yeah. The price of the sensor has gone from $2.50 per sensor to $5+. I know because I'm still waiting for them to get in stock in the LCSC, because I cannot. I want to order boards with the pre-soldered. I want to order PCBs that already had those sensors pre-soldered, because they are just. I do not have hot air gun, so I solder everything. All the SMD components I solder by hand. And I just cannot. This is too small, and the connectors are on the downside, so I don't know how I would be able to do that. I don't know how to solder with the sand, although that is great idea. Yeah, so, but let me try and see here. Zara kits on AliExpress, nice. So there are, yeah. Wow! You were right. I bought this board with this sensor for, if this one is, I paid with the shipping, board with the shipping was $16, and this BME version was $3 more. So you really are right, Luis. It's just too much. There, Pesor, his latest firmware supports BME 280. Has also added support for the pressure. So this one adds the pressure, but I do not believe that this pressure part of the sensor is worth $20. That's really crazy. But what I wanted to say is that on the GitHub, on the Twitter, a couple of days ago, they released a video. So I mentioned previously this project. So this will be DIY Zigbee watering project that will enable you to water 3 plants, or to have 3 hoses connected to 3 plants for watering. They have shown a video of small pump that attaches to this sensor, and you are able to connect the pump to the board. So when the water level inside the soil drops below something, the pump that is part of this sensor now would start pumping the water from a canister or whatever. So that's the great idea. But $33, this is just crazy. It's a legal official store. Yeah, I was buying all of my mostly all of my purchases were directly from them, so I'm really shocked to see the price of this one. Wow. I also received, I want to play with this one. I really want to try this e-paper. I received a LoRa board from them. I'm not sure for what I'll be using it. It is the one with the OLED screen, so something like this, but without the external antenna. I must really thank Alexei. He helped me find that Russian site, but he also pointed me a couple of directions. A couple of, I think, a week ago or 10 days ago, when we were tidying up something at home, I found my pager, original Motorola Advisor pager. It's still working. it's still working, and he found me a couple of ways how to revive the pager. So if I manage to do that, I will probably make a video, but watch out, this could potentially be illegal in the region where you live. The transmitter I'll be using for the pager will be so low that probably if you live in a large house, the signal wouldn't cover the whole house. But on the other hand, the idea with this LoRa thing is to be able to create some kind of pager device that would allow you to send you notifications even if, for example, in emergencies, even when most of the networks are down, because it is long range and the only small amounts of data are transmitted between the host and the receiver. Luis, I'll show you something. Give me a second. Okay, we are here. So this is something that I will be doing. I'm waiting for. Wrong button. This this one. Sorry, my throat. It's funny how always when we are close to the 2-hour mark, my throat starts killing me. So this is the version 1 and version 2 of those boards were DIY boards, but this one is meant to be ordered online and receives with and all the components are pre-soldered. So as you can see, everything, LEDs here, the CC2350 processors is here, all the sensors for the light, I think it has a light sensor here. So everything is pre-soldered when you order it from China. You only have to add, if you have printer, this case, and you have to order this battery holder. And the product looks like this. And this is Zigbee version. I would really love to have those Zigbee versions of the devices that can be powered by 18650 battery, that would have, for example, also the charge controller for the overcharge, undercurrent, whatever protections, all the protections the batteries need. So you could create something like that. So this is something that I still haven't ordered. Okay, as you can see, 30 pieces of the boards, so 30 boards with all the components, but as you can see, once again, this BME sensor is out of stock. 30 boards is $98 when you order large quantity. I was hoping to order minimum 10 versions. I still didn't order those boards because I'm waiting for the BME sensor. But if I couldn't get them in a couple of days, I will probably next week make an order for at least 10 of those boards. And the best thing is Zigbee. They are already supported. Let me check. I don't want to give you wrong information. Just a second, please. Let me check version 2. I think that they are already supported by the Zigbee to MQTT. Okay, there is a third version. We don't want first version. Yeah, it is already supported by Zigbee to MQTT. So you have to order those, a battery holder. Optional is printing the case, put the batteries in. The instant that you put the batteries in, it will start the pairing process. If the pairing is enabled on Zigbee to MQTT, it would connect there, and you would have Zigbee device checking what it has. Basic power device, just a sec, I will give you here. So battery, humidity 1, humidity 2, illuminance, link quality, pressure, temperature, and voltage. So for all of those sensors, you do need this BME 280. If you do not have BME 280, you will not be having pressure, temperature 2, and humidity 2. my guess. So yeah, I will be making video, but this will probably be August, not before August. I know that it sounds far, but it's now mid of May. For the next 2 weekends, I'm already sold out. Next weekend, I'm going with my family on a vacation or family trip. I'm not taking a computer with me. We will just having fun for 2 days. Week after that, my father has a birthday, so we'll be having some kind of family dinner or whatever, and party and things like that. So, and as I said, I already have 4 projects sitting here, but this project is definitely on my to-do list. And I really like the idea of having, especially after the change in the price that you've sent. It's really too steep. 33. So imagine, for the $33, you get 1 board. So 3 boards is $99, and for $99 you get 30 boards here. 30. So that's 10 times more. Liligo, great company, they have really fun projects, everything, but this is just, in my opinion, this is really just too much. Alan, there is a catch, and the catch is, you know, our office, the newly opened office 2 years ago, you can buy it locally there. So we can get somebody in Ukraine to buy ready-made sensors and ship them to us. But as I said, I wanted to order from the JLC PCB, I don't know, 10, 20 pieces, so I will get probably, my plan was to order 20, to get 5 for me, then give something to my parents, and also then give away the rest of the boards. So yeah, that's it. So okay guys, no girls, it really was fun. I was really talking a lot this time. Yeah, so what's my plan? As I said, next week I really do hope that I will be making a video about the sensor page. Let me find, inspiration is here. Home Assistant podcast. So this was the last podcast, and Phil was talking about this. So my idea is to do something similar. I will also be trying to implement some additional sensors, so you can have a page where you would be able to track the status of various services around your house. For example, is the MB running, is the AdGuard running, was the what is the uptime of storage node, and things like that. So that's the general idea for the video for next week at this point. But yeah, we all know how wishes sometimes fail, so that's it. Yeah. Yeah, it would be, just imagine the stream. But I've seen that some people like to, watch streams where people sit like this or eat. Oh, next time, maybe for the next stream, I could be, buying couple of deliveries of food and eating. One question. I will be posting. I will be posting a link or questions somewhere, I don't know where, for voting. Would you be interested when those things arrive? The boards I'm waiting, the chips I'm waiting, if you would be for example interested in doing a stream, not a regular normal monthly stream, but extra stream of me soldering one of those projects, for example Geiger Miller counter or the DIY watering project, and then programming and things like that. Yeah, so that's the general idea. I will be posting a voting panel somewhere so you can see. Also, just a quick note for everybody that's on the Discord. I've implemented the how it's called? Oh my god! Suggestions. So now you can post suggestions. Suggestions will go to separate channel. Everybody can vote on suggestions. Of course, any suggestion that receives, I don't know, highest number of votes in a week or month, we will talk about it. We'll have priority in recording video and things like that. So yeah. So and just please note, I'm terrible at soldering. No, I can solder mostly anything. I do need my glasses and magnifying lens, and I can do surface mount components. But we can go through the soldering of whatever, something simple. I think that watering project would be the easiest one to do, and then try to program it and see how this can be, repeated. So yeah. Okay, once again, thanks everybody for joining. Really, I want to thank all the members for their help and their support. Note to all the members of the YouTube channel, if you are a YouTube channel member, if you do have Discord account, please link your YouTube and Discord account, because there is additional super secret, channel with the where we talk a bunch of nonsense. Nothing serious, of course. I really would like to thank once again all the channel members, everybody who subscribed, everybody who watched the video, everybody who liked the video, everybody who disliked the video. If you dislike the video, please leave a comment why you dislike the video. I know that my face is not that pretty, but if there is something else that I can work on, I cannot do anything on my face. It's impossible. So once again, thanks everybody for joining, and I'll be seeing you next time. Until then, bye-bye and have fun. Bye-bye and have fun. Oh, now I have to find the button. Oh, first mute.